Coming up, Universal's Mardi Gras Ride and Dine experience. Welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far podcast, where we explore perspectives of the Walt Disney World Resort from 10 to 1,000 miles away. I am Mike the Far in this equation.
And I'm John the Near.
All right. Well, John, we've been away for a few weeks. We come back after a brief hiatus. And how did, I guess, your week? 3 weeks, 2 weeks? How did your time in the parks go, I guess?
I didn't go to the parks too much, but I will touch on it just a little bit. We'll do the light version. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do the light version, and I'm going to start out, even though it's not in proper order. I did go to the Epcot yesterday, and the reason I wanted to mention it, we're going to talk more next week about the Flower and Garden Festival, but there were a lot of topiaries up, and I decided to go yesterday because I don't usually eat a lot of the food, and I knew it'd be very crowded today, which is the first day of the Flower and Garden Festival. So I have to tell you, though, the park was very, very empty. And I hope that this holds out for you when you get here, because let me just tell you, around 10 after 8 in the morning, so 8:10 a.m., I turned on my Disney Experience app and I thought to myself, oh, I didn't get Guardians again. Oh, well, like I didn't really care. And then I decided to look at it, though. I said, I'm going to look and see. At 8:10 a.m., Guardians was still available. Imagine that. I know the 1 p.m. slot, has been extended lately, but 8:10 a.m., that the morning one, normally if you're not there in the morning, you're not. That tells me that the people who are vacationing at Disney, there's not that many of them, because they all should be doing that. Like, what the heck is going on? And so, and here's the thing too. When I went there, like I didn't go right there to ride it. I walked around first, and so with the sunlight to see the topiaries. But from the time I walked in the queue until I was on the ride, it was 12 minutes, I think, and the queue line, when you go to the main part and all the displays and you queue all around, they were all open to the right to walk directly past all of it and go right into the first pre-show room. I did not wait 1 second to get to that. And then after the pre-shows, I was probably about 3/4 of the way back in the crowd that I was in. I wasn't pushing forward or anything. It was already such a low wait. By the time we got to the part where you could see the trains, nobody was in line for the trains. And I'm like, so I came down and I went up and I said, can I have the front row? I went directly to it. And I didn't even wait for that. Absolutely, positively, no wait. So either Disney's slow the last day of February, or everybody's waiting for the first day of Flower and Garden, or maybe people ran out of money and it's just not there anymore. So I'm excited to see what your experience is this weekend, because I thought that was amazing. So what I did next then too, and again, this wasn't early. Let's see, what time did I do that? It was 6 around 6 p.m. is when I got in line for this thing. So I wasn't even on time. And I talked to somebody before I left, and they said they didn't get to the park till like 7 o'clock at night, and they still had virtual queue available for uh, Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know. I would have been pretty embarrassed to have paid for it that day. That's for sure, because there's nobody there. So again, might mean nothing. I mean, I heard just like the week before they were selling out of Lightning Lane. It was so busy. So again, Disney seems to be extremely busy, like unbearable or empty. So the swing is getting to be pretty big. But so what I did next is I haven't done this in a while because the last couple of times I tried it was just too long. But I walked over to Test Track and I said I'm going to try the single rider line, and there was absolutely nobody in the single rider line. So I walked right up front, did not wait a second. They were like row 2, and I walked right up. So again, there was a line for Test Track, but not the single rider. Nobody was in it, which the last couple times I tried that, I was all the way backed up, meaning it was all the way backed up by the door, and I just turned around. I'm like, I don't even like Test Track that much. I can tell you, I don't. There was a broken down car at the one thing. It's like they just pushed it off the side, and I'm like, man, this is looking bad. Broken car just sitting off to the right. It made terrible noises. As you can see, this door is not opening and closing. They're just leaving it open. I'm like, it probably isn't opening properly or whatever. That ride is just falling apart. I mean, I honestly, if they said Test Track is going away, I know personally I wouldn't care at all, but I know some people like it, but it is just it is just not in great shape, honestly. It really isn't. So, and again, I rode it and I thought to myself, this ride is all right for a 0-minute wait. Like, if I walk right on it, otherwise, it definitely is not holding up as a fun, re-rideable ride to me. I'm like, the hill parts and stuff, I feel like I could go in my backyard and get more excitement. It's just not there.
Well, the maintenance, they don't keep up with the maintenance on that ride. They haven't for a couple of years now, so,
it's bad. Yeah, I was going to say, walking out too, I saw a random pile of leaves by a wall. So I was going to call a cab and pick that up. What's wrong with it? But, yeah, and it's weird. It was just a small one too. So that's yeah. I have half a mind to make that myself sometime. Like when I'm there on a nice night, I should find like garbage and make it out of garbage. That's like
the way things have been.
Like if the garbage can is overfilled, I'll put the cups around in the circle.
That would be great.
But like I said, we'll get more in depth with this. But I've already done my once around to look at all the topiaries and stuff. So I'm probably not going to do that one again. And I did ride Spaceship Earth on the way out too. But for me, that's just like a comfort ride. I really like to ride Spaceship Earth. And you can see a little bit of the stuff there at night. Like it looks really nice with the background behind it. But and whatever that his name is from Encanto, her butterfly actually glows. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
like
neat.
Like I said, I don't even know who she is, but see how it glows. That's pretty cool, I thought. Like a little added effect. So I thought it was nice. And I'm pretty sure that's Moana. She is Epcot now. It's basically they should rename it for her new park, you know. So
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it is. Although the rest
I I
is all
I
in
think it
Canton
was
now. I
yeah,
could
that's
hear public.
probably the girl with glasses. I think that's her sister, her teenage sister or something. So I
Really?
don't know their names, but like yeah, I'm pretty sure
Man,
that's who
I've been
that
putting
is.
Moana on social media when I posted today. That's got to be Moana. But I bet it's not. Crap. I better look.
Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah,
teenage daughter, teenage sister of the. Yeah, like I said, I don't know their names. I've watched the movie once. It's nice. It's a fun movie, but
I heard
I
it's
don't
a
know their
very
names.
good
I
movie. But
what's that?
yeah, that's the only one that I know. Like that's
Yeah.
Encanto. The rest I just guess. I'm not familiar with.
Well, I think
Like
they're
I don't know
all in
who this
Kanto.
is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're
So they're
all
all in
like.
Canton. Oh crap!
Yeah.
I've been rating Moana.
Well, most people are probably like, "Yeah, it's an Epcot. It's probably Moana." So,
Anyone who follows me should know by now that I don't know who these characters are. So, but this is a spaceship Earth. I think I'm going to post soon. I got a lot of comments from this in my story. Just the pretty skyline and stuff. So
yeah, it looks nice.
I need to get that one. But anyway, besides that, I just went around and took pictures of the
Yeah, all the topiaries.
topiaries quick. So, and I did want to point out to people too. I often get asked, like when I post this picture, everyone says, "Where is that? Where is it?" I don't remember seeing that. So I did a quick video that I need to post sometime that shows where it is. I swing back over the wall and say, "It's right here, across from the outpost." So I
Mhm.
decided to do that one too because it was the sun setting one. So that's all I did there. Again, I'm not going to go through all the topiaries and stuff because we can scan them through when we talk about the festival because I'm sure you'll actually eat there
Yep.
at least a little bit. Here's some more pictures from my daughters working Universal. Empty pictures of Universal Studios. Pretty cool job to get to see stuff like that,
Yeah,
walking
it
around
is.
as it's empty in the morning. Yeah, this was a good one. Hogsmeade with not a single person. It's like that's quite the challenge. You can't pay for that. So, but anyway, we're also going to talk next week more about Tron. I did ride Tron like a week ago. My daughter actually got to ride it twice, which would have been nice. I should have been on it with her too, which would have been 3 rides for me already. But luckily, I got one though at least. So you can see a couple of pictures here. And I said when you're there, I recommended you go later so you can ride it at night because all this stuff is lit up pretty cool at night. So
Yeah, which ours is
and
between 6 and 7, so we will go as late as we can.
yeah, I would just go more towards 7, and it shouldn't be a problem at all. So anyway, I guess that's about it for my trips to Disney. So we don't need to get into that too much. We can again. I'm going to save these pictures because while we're talking about it next week, we can kind of play some of them in the background too because that'll be the 2 subjects we'll be talking about more. So I guess we can move
Yeah.
on to Universal Studios.
All right. Yeah, you got
And
to experience the Mardi Gras float deal. How did that go, John? And you got
yeah,
to
I
dine, right?
wanted
You got
to.
that dinner thing. Yeah, there it
Yeah,
is.
I, I was gonna say it's called Mardi Gras Float Ride and Dine Experience, and I just want to point out that you do not need to do this to ride on the floats. If you're in the park at 3 p.m., you can click to join the virtual queue. It's kind of random. You might get it, you might not. Like it's highly competitive, but
Mhm.
if you're around the parks enough, you can probably get it. I'm rarely there at 3, and I've been wanting to try Finnegan's for a long time, so we got this. But I have to tell you too that we paid $64.99. So we bought it early, and the price went up $20 a person between the time we bought it and right now. So we got the $64.99, and even that we got a little bit of a discount for pass holders. So I did not pay this. This is getting to be a little bit steep, if you ask me, but we can go through that a little bit. So I bought this a few months ago, and you have to pick at that time which restaurant you're going to go. And I picked Finnegan's. You can do Finnegan's, Lombard Seafood Grill, Cowfish Sushi Bar, which I heard that's very good too, and NBC Sports Grill and Bar, which I hear that's very good too. So, but we went with Finnegan's because I've heard about that for years. So at Finnegan's, what did we get? I think we tried. It comes with an appetizer, a meal, and a dessert. For the appetizer, what did we get? Finnegan's potato and onion web. That's actually really good.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you now, overall, I didn't love my meal. I wouldn't go back and get it again. But if you're just looking for something to eat and get a drink or something, these potato and onion web was so good. And it was huge though. It probably weighed like 5 pounds. And I'm like, I could have eaten just that and been like, yeah, and not even finished it and been like, I'm good. But we did get that. I got a salad as my appetizer. And then let's see. I ended up getting bangers and mash for my main meal. I did that because it's an Irish pub. I mean, I'm getting a hamburger. I'm at an Irish pub, so I got bangers and mash, which is sausage and mashed potatoes and root cellar vegetables. And again, my thought on it was the whole thing was too sweet for me. It tasted like bangers and mash, but with a lot of extra sugar mixed in. And again, people do that nowadays. It's like they add sugar to everything, and I like sugar, but I like mine separate from my food. I don't like you know how they have like glazed carrots and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
like that. It's too much sugar to go with carrots. It's like I don't I eat my candy and food separate. So for me, I didn't really like the bangers and mash. My daughter got Finnegan's chicken with the mashed potatoes, the garlic mashed potatoes. She loved the mashed potatoes. The chicken was just okay. My wife got the same thing, but she's allergic to milk and eggs, so she got it without whatever the topping was on it, and she got like fingerling potatoes instead. And again, it was okay, but she basically they were both like the chicken didn't taste like anything, even my daughter. And again, mine was too sweet. And again, I wouldn't say don't go here, but I would probably try something else if I went back. And like I said, you could get the potato and onion web for $10, and you and your wife would leave full if you stopped by and said, "We're just going to get an appetizer." So that's a little trick. $10. That's cheaper than what you get out at the food cart. So
Right. Yeah.
if you got a beer in that, it probably is worth stopping in, and you'll be full. So, and then for dessert, we got like an apple pie kind of thing with ice cream or something. It was okay. Again, it wasn't the greatest thing, but so overall, I had high expectations for Finnegan's, and it wasn't bad food. The server was great. They were on top of everything. I think I just didn't particularly like the food that I ordered. So again, that could just be me. I'm not a great food critic, so um, as a reminder, I think my favorite place at Universal is still what is it called? The place in Islands of Adventure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm
oh
so
man,
bad.
I'm the
Whenever
same
I
way.
whenever I start the podcast, I know the name of that place. I said it 1,000 times. I've done posts on it and stuff. But when the podcast starts and I'm expected to knowledgeably mention something, it's like then my brain's like,
Mythos.
yes. Mythos is awesome. That's still my favorite place to eat inside the Universal parks. Like my wife, my daughter, and myself, we loved our meals there. We were like, wow, this was so good. But again, it could be the type too. I'm not really an Irish pub kind of guy, so
Hmm.
it's not really my thing. So that could be part of it. So, but anyway, we went there. We had dinner. They gave us our packet, which included our thing to wear, our lanyard to wear. Um, and then they said we need to go to Animal Actors by like 5 o'clock, something like that. So that is where we went next. And for those of you that are watching, uh, here's the lanyard that I got. It's got the date and the check-in time. And the bread was pretty good too. There was I forget what it was called,
It's
but some
Irish
kind of
soda.
Irish.
Irish soda bread. Irish soda
Yep.
bread
I
is
was
what it's called. Yeah.
gonna say you might like that stuff better than me.
Yeah.
I
You know me.
I
I
might
know
look
that stuff.
pale and white, but I don't think I have any Irish in me. You know, my daughter did a 23andMe once, and I don't think Irish came up at all. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
very Irish. Very, very Irish.
Yeah. But anyway, that was good. My daughter loved it. So again, you can see a good picture of it there, and I'm sure we could have gotten more of that too. We I don't want to give Finnegan's a bad rep for not having good food. My wife has allergies. My daughter's picky, and I ordered a Irish dish that I'm not that familiar with. I just figured, hey, I'm at an Irish pub, so again, if you ate there, you might have a completely different uh, review of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
My
might have found right at home, but I was gonna say too, they had a guy in there singing and stuff.
mm,
I didn't record him. I wish I did, but he was literally just he had his guitar strumming away, just Irish folk songs, like wailing them out, and I'm like,
mm.
it gives the whole place a real cool feel. You know, it's like the Irish folk songs. It felt real natural in there. You know, so. And here's a few pictures of the food. This is the onion and potato web.
Wow.
It was just so big. Again, really good. Like I ate a bunch. I ate a bunch. My daughter ate some, and it still looked exactly like that. It's like it looked like we didn't eat anything. So it was that much.
I understand why
This
they call
was
it a web because holy crap, it's like it looks like a web.
yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's quite the web. And my daughter doesn't like potatoes too, but I said fried. It's not like, or no, she doesn't like onions. I mean, and I'm like, they'll be fine in there, you know. And they were. I don't love onions, but you fry them up, and man, they're good. So
Hmm.
so anyway, that was the potato web. This was my salad. It had beets on it, and it was a little weird, but I ate the whole thing. I thought that was great. My wife's food, you know, she had just a dry piece of chicken with carrots and potatoes. And again, she didn't hate it, but there's only so much you can do with the chicken, I guess, if you have allergies. And I don't know, does this look like a traditional uh,
So the
Irish dish to
bangers,
you? The bangers and
the
mash?
I mean, it's the bangers and mash, but it's a little Is that cabbage? Yeah, it's cabbage. You got some cabbage in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
cabbage,
so.
potatoes,
But
and the sausage and the you got. I don't really see much as far as mashed potatoes, but it's got to be there somewhere, right?
they're under there. They're under this stuff. That's like
Yeah.
under the sausage. So,
I mean,
and again,
it's pretty traditional. It's just presented a little differently, I guess.
yeah, like I said, I ate it. I wouldn't order it again, but I don't know that I'd order that again anywhere because I don't really. It's not a normal thing for me. So,
Yeah.
and then this was what the chicken is supposed to look like. So
Mm-hmm.
and again, that's mashed potatoes underneath. So. But still, not a lot of flavor, and I guess that's the flavoring just put on top. I don't know. I didn't try it, but my daughter
It
did
does. It
say it
does.
was.
It looks boring. It kind of looks boring, to
Yeah,
be honest with you.
yeah, and there's the guy singing. He's just sitting up on stage, strumming his guitar,
Yeah.
singing. So
Yeah.
again, very fitting for the bar. And yeah, this was the dessert. It was some kind of apple ice cream caramel thing. And again,
Mm-hmm.
it was good. I was just kind of full by the time I got it. So we didn't really get that much. And then we were going to get the chocolate cake too, so we could try that, but they were out of it. So I don't know how that works. So from there, we went to the animal actors, and I don't have any shots from backstage because you're not supposed to. I usually don't listen, but I was in the mood for listening that night, I guess, because I ended up not doing it. So we ended up getting picked for the alligator float, and you can see
Nice.
that's looking from where I was. So I was under the alligator's arm, and it's a little bit awkward to throw beads from up there, but the only thing I can say is, from the time we got on the float until we got um, out to the public, it felt like forever. It felt like it took like 30 minutes to drive in slow motion to get to the people. And I have to say too, and I didn't think about this till after they said Jimmy Neutron is the halfway point. So save your beads, like what they have hanging up under you. That's all you have. So when they're gone, they're gone. So but what they didn't mention was I was on the right hand side of the gator, and there's a large amount of construction walls on that side, like the Shrek 4D building and the classic Monsters Diner. All the construction walls are there. So I had a big section of not throwing anything, and so I saved mine too much because then when it went by that stuff, it was like it wasn't far to go. So I didn't time my beads very well. And then the guy next to me threw them all out immediately. And then he said, "Can I have your beads?" And I was like, "I've been saving mine to last the whole time." So we did give him a couple, but I'm like, man, we paid a lot of money for this too. And he was just throwing them out. But anyway, it was, I'll show you some clips of what it looks like. You can see from my perspective, this is the look of people.
They
They
look
all
like a
got their
bunch
arms
of
out.
zombies. Yeah, it's like zombies trying to get it.
Yeah, you can see them there. They're screaming and jumping, and um, it's scary though because if they don't know, like I literally hit a bunch of people, and so and it's awkward in there. So there's times when you go to throw it and your hand hits the thing, or if you try to throw it over, it's like there's stuff all around you. So you're trying to throw it, but it's not that easy. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of fun though. We really did enjoy it, but Man, that price is getting to be a lot though. Like
Yeah.
$84 a person is really getting up there. But again, I could definitely I didn't regret it at all, and I really did enjoy it. I've been wanting to do this since we moved there. And here's the view as we're going around the corner so you can see the I was on the front of the gator float, so you can kind of see where that is a little bit. Like that's the back of the gator float, and we were on the front. And my daughter had the button behind her that if she pressed it, it made the gator roar too. So
Oh, wow. That's
that
cool.
was. But yeah, and this was just like a random like Wednesday night, so it's still pretty crowded even for that. Like there's a lot of people, so it was fun though to try to throw all those beads out, and yeah, we had fun. I was gonna say there's a picture of us. I had my camera on my hat because I did a stop motion of it, so and I forgot my hat in the car, so I had to buy a new hat too. So
Oh, no.
I don't have enough universal hats anyway, so I didn't mind. It was a good excuse to do it. Oh, and here's our vest they had us wearing. See the weird, they're like vests. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. You look so happy to wear that vest.
Only a fool smiles in pictures. Oh wait, no, that's an old. That's what they used to say like 100 years ago. That's why you see everyone just standing there.
That's why they all frown in the old pictures. Yeah.
Yep. But that is after by the time it was done, yeah, see that lady there, she dances the entire time. She's a worker there. I think my wife sent her like a fist bump. We were there a few days before, and she dances the entire time, and we saw her before, and then she was by our float. Even backstage, she starts dancing, and she doesn't stop the whole time. And I
Wow.
think she said she wanted to be a Mardi Gras dancer because she has dance experience, and they were like, "Nah." So she's like, "Well, I'm dancing anyway. If I'm here, you know." It's like so. She's her job is just to keep people from getting run over, but she dances the whole time doing it. So that was pretty cool. That and by the time it's done, the park closes at 7, and by the time you get back there, it's 7:05. By the time I'm just getting back, so the park is closed at that point. So we didn't do a lot else. We just kind of headed home from there. But I can definitely say it's getting expensive now, so I'm not saying I'll do it again right away, but I might do it again next year and just a once a year thing. It's like the Grinch breakfast. I really want to try that again because I think it could have went so much better, and I think it usually does. So that I really want to try again. But again, that's like $40. This is 80 some dollars. It's a lot of money, but
Well, let me say, John, as far as price goes at Universal, um, about 4 weeks ago, or not 4 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, when we got this AP preview of Tron, we were planning on coming down and staying at Dockside at Universal. Within days, that price at Dockside went from like around the $100 mark to way up, almost double. So, and I've heard from other people that prices at Universal all of a sudden took this massive leap, like they really went up. So, I'm not sure if this is across the board or this is just because of Mardi Gras and it's a peak thing or what the deal is, but they've really raised some prices over the last couple weeks.
I'm not 100. I don't know either, but I do know demand has been up there a lot. So,
Yeah.
speaking of that, though, when you're down, you probably don't have time. But if you did, I bet I could get you in so you could see Mardi Gras if you have an evening available anytime. But I know it's a quick in and out trip, but just if there's any availability, I bet I could get you in. So
I'll say something to my wife.
see
Let's
what
see
she
what she
says.
thinks.
Again, not really about rides, but Mardi Gras, the parade. That's something to see once. That would really, in this trip, then you'll see Tron, you'll see the Flower and Garden, you'll see Mardi Gras. It'd be like a whirlwind. You see three events in one thing, in and out. So you don't have to. And again, I didn't even ask my daughter, but she probably has enough, you know. So I would not be surprised if it was not a big deal at all.
Yeah, I'll
But
say something
so
to her.
yeah, that's it for Mardi Gras. Um,
Well, it looked like it
that's
was
a view
fun,
up
you know.
in the. Oh, it is. Yeah, a lot of singing. You can't hear it, but people on the float are singing. People in the crowd are singing.
Yeah.
Everybody's singing and dancing. It really is like I said, it's the closest that I ever want to get to a big party. So for me, it's worth the money. But
Yeah. Very,
so
very
yeah,
cool.
so that's about it for that.
All right, John. Well, how did your social media go the last, I guess, few weeks? I know
Well,
you
everything.
continued to post because I've seen plenty of awesome content coming out. So,
Oh, I did. It definitely. I posted a lot less though, but everything has been going in downward, like just toning down. I think my
mm,
Universal is down to like 2 million reach, where it was up as high as 6. And my Disney's going down a bit too. But I mean, I'm up 117,000 followers for Disney, 118 for Universal. So I mean, the followers are still doing well. But in general, though, my Universal's doing worse than my Disney, but they're both doing okay. Like you can see here, I'm getting like 20,000, 25, 28, 40. I'm not getting shared to any Discover page or anything. Like when I look at the insights for all these, it's just people that follow me. So I'm not currently in a favorable position apparently with Instagram. And I was supposed to talk to them this last Friday, and I couldn't because I was out of town in the middle of a bunch of other stuff. So I had to postpone it. So now I got another couple weeks before I talk to them again. But I do have a lot to say to them because they really are doing their best to break people's spirits and make them not even want to bother. That's what I see the most.
yeah, I haven't been bothering. I just,
Hey,
no traction, and I've just given up. It's like,
yeah, at a certain point, I've even talking. I don't know if you ever heard of the guy who does the Disney Nuts account. It's
hmm
his name is Lewis. He's been posting for like 10 years plus. He's like an OG Instagram guy, and all his account has done for the past couple of years is slowly lose followers and he's treated terribly by Instagram, and again, even he's like, I don't know if this is worth it anymore. I might as well start a brand new account or not even do, you know what I mean? Like,
hmm
and he had over 200,000 followers. Like, he's a guy I used to look at and go, man, if I could get that big, that would be so great. It's like even he's treated terribly because he's an older account. It's just all he does is a downward spiral for like 2 years now. So even a guy with 200,000, it's breaking his spirit. They're doing it, and so I don't know, and TikTok has not really been doing anything either. I am up to 80,000 followers, but I don't know. It's for some reason it just doesn't. It's just very random, like some of the coaster stuff's been doing good, like the Hulk and Rip Ride Rocket. So that's a good thing because
Yeah.
on my Universal page they it's doing 10 times better on TikTok now. So I don't know. Guess I'll keep going with that. But again, the 6 cents that I made probably today from TikTok just doesn't motivate me to care that much. So I don't
It's
know.
almost like you've got to become a coaster content creator to get any traction over there, right? I mean,
I live in Central Florida, and I don't really go to that many parks. Just the immediate ones here. I'd have to really like the people who do coasters. They travel all over and do
they
them. So
do. Yeah.
it's difficult. I don't really want to do that. So I don't know. I don't know. Instagram's been breaking everybody's spirits. My accounts, like last year, I was able to struggle, and I would be able to get close to like $1,000 a month between the two, which is a lot of money. Even that has just gone down and down. Like I thought I was doing great this month, and I think like my Disney one, I have 2.5 million views, and I think I have like $300 there, and then I have less in my Universal. So I'm trying really hard, and still rapidly my bonus is going down rapidly too. And I'm just like, at a certain point, you got to say, well, luckily I have my normal job. I better concentrate on that. This is never going to do anything. So just one of those things. I think it breaks a lot of people's spirits. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But they really shouldn't mess with the bonus stuff with how many people they do, because I know they give it to a lot of people that are smaller too, just to get them struggling. Because they gave it to my, they allow my Facebook for Universal to be in the bonus program. It is so frustrating. I can't grow anything. Anything I put on there, it's going to get like 100 views. The same videos that I can get millions of views on Instagram, and they'll even share it on Facebook through Instagram and get multi-million views. It's not going anywhere on Facebook. And so it just reminds me, they're not doing it by the video. They're doing it by you. They decide, they keep putting the carrot in front of you going, oh, keep trying harder. And I'm like, for what? Like I'm like, I'm not giving up my Instagram, but the Facebook, I try as hard as I can, and I make $10 in a month. And I'm like, that wasn't worth my time at all. And then I'm like, well, maybe I need to do it a few months. It's like, it never gets any better. And now it's probably been like a year. It's like, I can depend on that I'm not getting anything, and no video is ever going to take off. Like there just isn't, none of them. So again, I recommend you steal my Facebook videos too. You'll probably get 1 million views. Just steal it, put a sticker on it. You'll do great. So anyway, I know people don't like to hear me complain because I actually make money. So, but I've watched my bonuses went from like 3,000 to 2 to 1 to 9 to they're just. And luckily, I don't depend on them to live. And that's what I want to tell Instagram too. I would never suggest to anybody that they depend on you for their income. So even if you think you're the greatest content creator ever, your videos could be cut by you could be cut by 90% anytime for any reason, not even for a reason, just I don't know. Your account's dead now for the next few months. Don't worry about why. It's like nobody would want to do that and depend on it. So it's and I'm going to tell them too, you might not care about me, but what about the guys who use my videos and they go down in the corner and make faces? They get millions of views. So without me, they don't have anything to make a face in front of. So that's not good for them. It's like,
right.
When guys like me give up, the people who take my content and put a sticker on it, they won't have that either. So, and I don't think they're going to the parks. So,
no, I see that type of stuff all the time. It's like really big with some of the Brits. Like a lot of the people from the UK will do things where they have reaction videos or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what the one account, they kept pushing it at me on Instagram. And again, nothing personal against any of these people, but it's really big. I think he has millions of followers. The theme park shark guy, he literally takes videos and he just goes down in the corner and makes these faces as a reaction video. And I'm like, it is kind of makes you feel a little defeated that he takes other people's videos, makes a face, and it's going to get 100 times more views than you could ever hope for, and he is getting paid to do it for real. It's like this is his job. He's rich from just making faces in the corner. It's like I'm like, what the hell am I going to these parks for all the time? I could be doing something better with my time. It's like,
Yeah.
so again, that's what I want to talk to Meta about. There's only so long before you give up, and again, if they don't care, I guess I don't care either. So I might as well give up quicker rather than later. So, and again, I'm not giving up, but my content won't continue to improve if I don't care. It's just going to be standard stuff. I don't care. Just I could go on for years with basically not barely trying. So, but I don't think I don't think I'll grow much from that. But
you could just recycle your old videos over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, when the parks were shut down for months, I didn't miss a single day of posting. I could do that for the next 10 years. I don't even have to go to the parks, but eventually people will wonder how comes I don't have any of the new stuff. But although maybe not, I don't know. So besides that, social media is going great.
Yeah.
How about you? You said you don't even care either.
I don't even care anymore. It's
There
like I'm not.
Since you're a smaller account than me, you're just accelerated to not care. It's like, yeah.
My deal is I don't have access to constant content, and I don't go to the parks all the time. When I do go to the parks, then I'll, cycle content in there. But until I do, it's like I don't like going back into my computer, into my archives and recycling content. And, a lot of times when you go and do that, there's stuff in the background that's been changed or something's been changed. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then you got, oh, you're posing that off as like current when it's not, and I always hate that, like, that type of thing. So that's why I haven't been really doing much, and it takes a lot, man. I don't know how you do it. It is man, you're putting 3 separate videos up at least a day, plus still content, like picture content.
I was doing four reels, 2 photos, a TikTok, and 2 or 3 YouTube shorts every day.
Gosh,
again, it's the amount of time I put into it. I do get paid, but I bet if you divide it up by the hours I put in, including getting the footage, you'd probably be like, "Oh, you're making $3 an hour. Good job."
Yeah.
Go. It's like, well, or I could get a part-time job at McDonald's and make twice as much. So I probably could. Imagine if I spent like 3 hours a day working at McDonald's. I'd probably make more than $1,000 a month. I'd be like, oh, good. I don't have to worry about all that stuff anymore.
Well, that's not even, that's not even mentioning, right? This stuff that you spend money on, the $100 here, $100 there, $300 there, $1,000 here for a phone, hundreds of dollars for a camera, memory cards, subscription crap online for software and for memory cards and cloud storage and all this kind of stuff.
And for me too, gas and tolls. It's a 30 to 40-minute trip depending on where I'm going each way.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think it's beginning to look less and less lucrative. I keep thinking at some point it's going to leverage out and be like, if instead of leveraging out, it leveraged in, and I made 10 times less. It's like, wait a minute.
Right.
I thought as you're growing, you would your income would multiply out. You'd be like, now it's worth it. It's like, no, they did it the opposite. They're like, we're going to divide it by 10, and that's going to be your new starting point. And then we're going to dwindle it down from there too. So it's like, there was a few months though where I was getting like 2,000-3,000 a month, and I'm like, man, if this kept up, this is life-changing money here. But again, you probably remember that time where I literally sent him a message. I'm like, is this a mistake? Because they put my view goal up by 10 times. I'm like, shouldn't they ease that up over time? It's like, nope. One day it was 10 times. I was like, oh crap. And yeah, so I made 10 times less money. So I'm like, right.
Yeah.
And that's where it stayed. So, and from there, it's only struggled and went down. But again, I've made enough to make it kind of worthwhile as long as I don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
Like you said, I gotta watch. I need to do my taxes yet this year, so I have a lot of I have to keep track of all that stuff, all the
Yeah.
expenses along with it. So I'll be looking soon enough to see what my net income is after you deduct mileage and tolls and meals and camera equipment and passes and all that. So
I'm
I'll
curious
see
what
what
that looks like. Yeah.
I'll see what that is soon enough. So I've been working on it whenever I get the chance.
Yeah.
So
All right, John. So where can they find you online?
you can find me at SeeWDW on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and SeeWDW on YouTube and C.UO on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, and you can find me at the Giant Rat, THEE Giant Rat on Instagram and on TikTok and actually on YouTube. I have some YouTube shorts out there you can check out, but I haven't done anything in a while, so it's out there. You can look for it. You can find it. But that should do it for this one. We will see you on the next one.